So, welcome to Parenting Through It All, hosted by Parents Anonymous. My name is Dr. Linda Thompson, and I am the chair of the board of Parents Anonymous and have known Dr. Lisa for nearly 30 years. I guess we were in kindergarten. For the past 30 years, Dr. Lisa Pion-Berlin has been leading to support the empowerment journey of diverse parents, children, and youth through evidence-based helplines and support groups. February 2022 marks her 30th anniversary, advocating for anti-racist, anti-classist, anti-sexist policies that truly help parents. Her tireless leadership, unrelenting advocacy, and dedication is much to be admired, and I am proud to call her my friend. Millions of diverse parents, children, and youth have benefited from her work to defend the rights, fight racism, classism, and sexism, and ensure that free evidence-based Parent Anonymous and helplines was available for all to provide vital emotional support and encourage parent leadership and systems change. Dr. Lisa has advocated for culture of humility, genuine respect, and sincere honor for all while eliminating blame and shame. Her passion is to help all parents, children, and youth, which is echoed in the mantra, asking for help is a sign of strength. Today, we will celebrate this achievement and talk about what the next 30 years will look like for parents. We will answer the questions. How can we as a group help parents rebuild and recover post-pandemic? What do you all think will be the biggest challenges that parents will face in the next 30 years? And how are we as a community ready to help parents address those challenges?
Hello, everyone. I am Maggie Vega, board member, Mexican-American, married, mother of two beautiful little girls who received vital support when I most needed it when I was suffering from postpartum depression after my youngest was born. My girls and I attended Parents Anonymous group weekly and benefited greatly. The shame I felt was gone. And through the shared leadership, I built on personal strength I never knew I had. As a parent leader, I'm advocating for policy and system change to help families across California and the world. Dr. Lisa has helped me personally grow, and so many other parents by believing in us, valuing our expertise, and truly committed to shared leadership. The future depends on parents, and Parents Anonymous will bring us together with others to help everyone flourish from generations to come.
Hi, my name is Antonia Rios. I am the chair of the National and California Parent Leadership Teams and the senior parent partner who has benefited from evidence-based Parents Anonymous since 2008. The help, support, strength, and hope my children and I received changed our lives for the better. We are resilient and encourage others to seek help through the California Parent and Youth Helpline and weekly Parents Anonymous groups every day. The circle of violence has been broken in my family, and I am proud Native American, Latina mother, grandmother, and kid provider, working to change policies nationwide. Essential to our future, bringing love, support, hope, and positive change to all. I'm blessed to have known Dr. Lisa as an incredible leader and supporter of parents to develop their leadership and never give up advocating for the wrongdoing and injustice, no matter the stakes. As a result, my children and I have become tireless advocates. Next, we will watch a video with parents, staff, and other experts in the field expressing their heartfelt thoughts about Dr. Lisa.
Hi, my name is Liz Harris, and I am a faculty associate at Arizona State University. And I also do consulting with nonprofit agencies and government programs that are trying to reform their child welfare systems or prevent people from ending up in child welfare in the first place. And I've been working with Dr. Lisa for several years now, and I actually met her completely by chance at a conference, and about a week later we have formulated a plan to do a formal evaluation of Parents Anonymous, and that evaluation showed that her program substantially reduced the number of parents who ended up in the child welfare system and the number of children who ended up in the child welfare system. And I was really inspired by what I learned, and I've really wanted to continue to work with her, and I have, and it's been a joy. And in doing that, I've really thought a lot about what makes Parents Anonymous so effective, and what's special about their model. And I think what's special is that Dr. Lisa has such an awareness and understanding of the multiple systems of oppression and sources of stress and challenge in the lives of the people that she works with. And she actively thinks about how can the program design address the needs of people who are dealing with institutionalized racism and sexism and classism. And she doesn't shy away from talking about any of that. And that's really, really unusual in this field, to see someone who's so willing to just put it out there and help families to address both problems at the level of the family system, but also societal problems. I think she also has done an incredible job of moving away from a blame and shame model of services. And I think it shows in her success. So her leadership, I believe, is absolutely integral to the success. And it's been a pleasure to work with her.
Dr. Lisa, words could never express how grateful I am. I could never repay you for all that you've done. From the very first moment that I met you, you were straightforward, honest, and supportive of me, my history, and my journey. You and I came from different backgrounds, but somehow you were able to understand my struggles that I and so many other parents have experienced. I've seen you deal with a lot of things from a lot of different people, some good and, well, some not. You should know that your hard work is seen by all. I, along with so many parents, just like me, our family and friends, will forever be changed. And slowly but surely, this world will too. I am speechless when I think of all the things that you have done and accomplished and stood strong and fought and dedicated your time to. We are all truly blessed. And I just want to say congratulations on your 30 years. Thank you so much.
Hi, congratulations, Dr. Lisa, on so many years of supporting parents across the nation, around the world, in only the way that you can. You are a hard charger. I have never seen anyone work as hard as you do to really help the empowerment journey of parents, children, and youth. I want to thank you personally for the honor and privilege to work with you over these last several years. I have watched you up close and personal fight the fight every day to help parents, their children, and youth get the things they need, get the support they need, be there for them, provide, linkages and services and everything else, along with helping to ensure that parents get the leadership training and opportunities to be able to go out there and advocate for themselves and the things they need and the things that our communities need to grow. Everyone should take note of parents both raising the children who will take care of the rest of us for the rest of our lives, as well as raising the bar on what our systems need to do in terms of including parents and children and youth in the decisions they make and the plans they make and in the things that they are doing for these parents and children and youth and families' futures. These impact our entire community. And Dr. Lisa, there has been no one else I know out there working harder than you to make this happen. Congratulations.
Dr. Lisa, I have known you almost the whole time that you've been at Parents Anonymous. And I just want to say you have been one of the most passionate advocates for children and families that I have known in my time also being an advocate for children and families in this country. Your work at Parents Anonymous, it has been so important to raise the the excitement that people feel, the way you have advocated, meeting with elected officials, being seen on national and local TV, has raised the the uh, the identity of Parents Anonymous as an organization that puts parents and families first. I have seen you work with people all over the country trying to influence the outcomes of children and families. And I have always respected your tenacity, your courage, and the way that you have been just steadfast advocate for people who are doing this work. I see the future of Parents Anonymous as just so important and a, a step in the right direction, because what you're doing will always resonate with people like me who are also advocates for young people and families. So keep doing God's work, because that's what you're doing. You are probably the one person that you just will never stop. Whenever you get something in your head, you strike once, you strike twice, and then you get your home run. So I salute you. I salute the organization, and I just say thank you because I think of you as one of my friends. So good luck in your future.
Good morning. I'm Linda May Wacker, the Program Director of Parents Anonymous of Oregon. Dr. Lisa, I just wanted to reach out and acknowledge the incredible milestone of 30 years of leadership at Parents Anonymous. You have helped to create a vibrant network of Parents Anonymous parent support groups where parents get to feel connected and supported in the challenges of parenting. During the last 30 years, you have been a tireless advocate for strengthening families, and I'm so excited to see how we'll continue to build on the successes of Parents Anonymous. Congratulations.
Greetings, everyone. This is Dr. J.C. Shea, former board member and former board chair of Parents Anonymous, Inc., wishing Dr. Lisa Pion-Berlin, Dr. Lisa, a very glorious congratulations on the 30th anniversary of her service to the organization. Having worked closely with Lisa over the years, I can attest to her integrity, her steadfast leadership, her clean fundraising skills, creative management, and belief in the program's principles, especially shared leadership, which she practices religiously. You are a champion of parents everywhere, Lisa, and have always been. You are welcoming to all parents, regardless of race, creed, ethnicity, sex, or language. And that is indeed a stimulating approach. She's not only my friend, but a friend to parents everywhere and a warrior woman on their behalf. I respect her highly and wish her continued awesome success as she manages Parents Anonymous into the future. Congratulations, Lisa. Keep going. You got a lot more in you to give. All I can say is my hat's off to you. Way to go.
Hello, I'm Congressmember Judy Chu from Pasadena, California, and I'm thrilled to help congratulate Dr. Lisa Pion-Berlin on 30 incredible years at Parents Anonymous. With school closings and pandemic anxiety, the past 2 years have been an unprecedented challenge for our families. For instance, we've seen a 400% increase in anxiety and depression among parents with limited access to care during this pandemic. And many parents are worried about the harm to their children's emotional health. That's why Parents Anonymous and the leadership of Dr. Pion-Berlin means so much to me. Your work has helped millions of parents and youth access support and resources they need to get through difficult times, like with your helpline counselors who provide free, accessible, and culturally responsive emotional support. And I'm so impressed by your ongoing weekly online Parents Anonymous groups to support caregivers and build resiliency. And that's why I am proud to be a supporter as well. This year, I'm proud to have been successful at putting in $1 million for Parents Anonymous in the House's annual appropriations bill. Members of Congress were limited this year in how many earmarks we could support, but I knew I had to make Parents Anonymous a priority because of how impactful I know your work is. Now we have to make sure the Senate passes the bill. I was also honored to be there in person last August when Parents Anonymous opened a vaccine clinic pop-up to help ensure parents were protected against this virus. But none of this would be possible without the leadership and dedication of Dr. Pion-Berlin. So congratulations again on 3 amazing decades leading Parents Anonymous, and thank you for helping to ensure our families are healthy and thriving.
Hello, Dr. Lisa. Happy 30th anniversary. I just want to tell you thank you for helping everybody and doing what you do and helping me out when you did. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Lisa. Happy 30th anniversary. You've been saving almost a lot of people and helping parents, and you made a change in these past 30 years. And to many more to you.
Congratulations, Dr. Lisa, on your 30 years, and thank you so much for showing me how to be the strong, resilient parent that I have always been able to be, and to showing me how to be that and to be able to show that to the courts and to bring Luna back home with me. Say thank you, Dr. Lisa.
Dr. Lisa, congratulations. And I appreciate you of all things around the world. Thank you.
Happy anniversary and congratulations on your 30 years. And I want to thank you for helping my mom, me, and my friends' parents in times of need when we mostly need it. And I want to thank you for helping me when we meditate and I could reach thoughts that I usually can't reach and help myself calm down in times of need. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa. We love you.
That was wonderful. I mean, I gotta tell you that I haven't seen the whole thing, and it was beautiful. And I know Judge Ulloa has joined us. I didn't know if you wanted to say a few words before I make some comments.
I just want to join all of the kudos that folks are expressing. You know, I've been a lawyer for almost 50 years. I've been involved in social justice for almost 60 years. I've been a judge for 27 years. I've been focused on the real vacuum in social justice and services for families. You know, we criminalize children and poverty, and we try to rescue children. But as a parent, the government has been a failure, and the gap really in services is not our good intentions, but our dismissal of the strength of families and the commitment to resilient families. And I think that's what's so important about Parents Anonymous for its 50 years, but also thank you, Dr. Lisa, for your leadership and your advocacy. You know, I've seen you as a convention leader, as an interpersonal leader, as a community organizer, as a recruiter. I've seen you as a lobbyist. Oh my God. I don't know anyone more tenacious, more dedicated, more ferocious. Uh, you are a warrior for families and children. Thank you so much for your work.
Thank you. Well, I was asked to make a few comments about what the past was. And I've just got to tell you, my heart is very full right now. It's going to be hard for me to do a lot of talking. But I was asked, what were the 30 years like? We wanted to build on the great results of Parents Anonymous and the leadership programs we had and bring more people to the table. So I want to thank everybody for being at the webinar, whether you're Bunty from Alaska and we go back 20 years, or you're somebody new for the first time signing on. I want to welcome you to be part of this effort. So as I talk about the past and what we faced in the last 2 years, I really want to focus much more on the future. We need to bring everybody to the table. Parents, agencies, volunteers, businesses, philanthropy, and the government. Not just the government, as Juan said. Sometimes the government has policies that don't work in favor of people. But when I think about the last 30 years, when I walked into Parents Anonymous, people were not really celebrating parent leadership. And I said, well, that's the best thing we got going here, are the parents. The reason I do my job every day are the parents you see on the screen, the parents who come to Parents Anonymous, the parents who call the helpline and reach out and help another person because they came to group and got what they needed. As we say in Parents Anonymous, in the giving you get. And I have gotten so much from being around staff, volunteers, board, community members, agency, even government people and elected officials who I've advocated very hard with, as well as funders who are considering whether or not they'll fund us or not, by challenging them on the future depends on parents. I didn't grow my 2 children in the garden. They didn't drop from the heavens. I gave birth to them. David and I are the parents of Emma and Jeremy. But whether or not you're raising children who you did not give birth to, in that role, we need to value that role. Whether we think about children's mental health, we can't think about that in a vacuum without focusing on what parents need and want. And I became a social worker to ask people, what do you need and want? Though I might not be able to clean up your neighborhood or get you a better job tomorrow, okay? I can support you in setting the goals you want for your life. What Ingrid wanted when she came to group, what she wanted to accomplish, we were there to support her. And the community built amongst the parents and Parents Anonymous is so powerful that the parents are the gift that keeps giving. From 20 years from now, when I'm long gone, 30 years from now, from the prior 20 years. And that what was so telling, what was so realizing to me is every time I would go to a meeting with parents, people were not going to meetings with parents. They didn't really believe in shared leadership. They thought the parents were either window dressing or just there because that's Parents Anonymous. And we changed that conversation. We, I mean Parents Anonymous, staff, volunteers, and parents, by showing up, by speaking out, by talking about how to change policies and programs that actually have the positive results. All the issues of racism and sexism and classism, not just in the child welfare system, but our community, are things we've known about for our whole lifetime. This is not a new thing. The question is, what are you going to do about it? And Parents Anonymous has always been standing with parents and children and youth, not standing up for them, supporting them in their journey. And that is so important. That's the difference between dehumanizing people and calling them a case or a client rather than their parent or youth, or that's Maggie or Antonia. The way we talk is the way we walk and the way we treat people. And I think we've done much in the field to change the conversation, though that has been a very uphill battle. We still see, as people are talking about equity now, diversity and inclusion, if we just did better training, it would go away. And I don't think anybody in America believes that if we train people better, because we've all been affected by institutional racism, that all of a sudden racism is going to happen. We have to change our behavior. And it starts by dealing with our underlying emotional issues, just like the parents on the video and the parents here at the webinar talked about why they had the courage, Maggie, Antonia, Ingrid, to come to group to deal with their underlying emotional issues, to be the parent they want to be, and to get the support they needed from a community. They didn't do it Individually, they did it within the group, and as well as the helpline. And I've got to say, the last 2 years have been so impactful on all of us. There's not a person you ever run into, no matter what your age, that hasn't worried, had fear, isolation, concerns about their neighbors' kids, their grandchildren they couldn't see, the people they couldn't hug, the sending your child to school, the decision every day that a parent makes. I don't have school-age children anymore. My kids are adults. That I would have to make, or parents are making. Is it safe to send them to school? Is the sniffle really more? Have they been exposed? We have not experienced this in our lifetime. And what it's doing to us is massive. So we need more and more supports, especially at the point you get pregnant or decide as a couple you're going to have a child. I want Parents Anonymous, the evidence-based support groups, and the helpline available the minute people even consider becoming a parent. Not later on when they're in trouble, or somebody's coming knocking on the door to investigate, or there's a breakup, or there's some violence, etc. Way before that, we need to be thinking about what are the supports and how can we do that together. I'm most proud this year, and I want to thank Dr. Harris. The evaluation put us into the federal clearinghouse. We are one of 23 programs, only 5 programs in the nation, that the federal government decided ensures child safety. I was like really surprised. What's the matter with the rest of these programs? Also, we are effective for substance abuse, mental health issues, and parenting. People are humans. They come with a variety of issues they want to address. It's very hard to provide services unless you have a complete family strengthening program. It's National Parent Leadership Month. Not only is it just happened that I was hired on February 3rd, which happens to be the month Parents Anonymous started, which happens to be the decision we made 22 years ago to make National Parent Leadership Month all over the country. We gave it away to everybody. Honor, celebrate parents. Doesn't matter if you're the government, Head Start, the school, a business. We want you to celebrate parents, because without them in the driver's seat, we would have never gotten through this pandemic. Never. No services were available. Nobody was coming to the house for behavioral supports. Schools were closed. Free lunch, free breakfast. Maybe it was available, maybe it's not. Maybe you had a tablet, maybe you didn't have internet. All these things meant the burden fell back on parents. How we can support diverse parents by respecting them, not blaming and shaming them, which doesn't do anything for any of us. So when I think about the future, it's bringing more partners to the table. So please, we are looking to spread evidence-based Parents Anonymous groups and the helplines. They're connected. We want people, well, I'll tell you a story. I mean, when we went into lockdown 2 years ago, we had a meeting, and Tony and I, with the governor's office, and we had a meeting with the Department of Social Services, like 3 weeks before that. We were in lockdown and I could not sleep. I'm sending an email to the chief of staff, the head of the Department of Social Services, and I said, now we got to do that, all that stuff we talked to you about. Helpline, providing evidence-based support group over the phone or chat or text, and connecting people to ongoing free evidence-based groups that honor people's diversity, whatever walk of life, whatever structure of family, whatever religious background, whatever the color of their skin is, does not matter, whatever their struggle is. If they want to change, we're there for them, and they will get the help from one another and from the program called Parents Anonymous. And actually, within a few hours, they bit. So I do thank the governor and the Department of Social Services for taking our idea and supporting the first and only statewide parent and youth helpline in this country for California. And we want to, our goal is taking that model to Alaska, you're on the phone, to DC, I don't know where some of the rest of you people, to New York, Michigan, all across this country, because we used to have a national parent helpline. But without funding, we cannot provide helpline services for people, a place you can call because you're just at wit's ends, because your kid has just gotten in trouble at school and you don't know who to talk to. Your family you feel isolated from. You reach out. That step is your first step of leadership, and we want to be there to honor that. So I think we have a lot of work to do in the future. So please visit our website and share your ideas with us. Well, I'll tell you a little story why all of our logos are green. The staff of Parents Anonymous and the parent leaders know, but green represents the heart chakra. It's the color of the heart chakra, where love and support. Chakras are wheels of energy in our body. There are 7 chakras in your body. The heart chakra is the middlemost, most important chakra. That's why we use green on our logo. And we're wearing green today, and we have green bracelets. And if you choose to donate to Parents Anonymous, we'll send you some of our hand sanitizers, our masks, our bracelets to you. But even reach out to other people in your community to tell them about the program. So that they feel comfortable. Because when you hear from a trusted individual, somebody you trust, that's when people take action. Like when I call a friend and they say, hey, you might try this, you might try that. And we are all citizens of the world. We are all members of the community where we can reach out to other people, which is very important. You know, I'm first generation American. For those who don't know, my parents ran from the Nazis. And I was raised with, you need to do something in life that gives you fire in the belly. My father would say that all the time. My father was a lawyer. My mother was an artist. And they said, don't do anything that's not meaningful to the community. And so I was raised with that value. And I remember that even the night I was supposed to be bat mitzvah was the day Martin Luther King was assassinated. And that was like this incredible awakening to me. I lived in DC. And there were riots everywhere. Well, I hadn't experienced riots. I'm a 13-year-old girl, and I'm saying to my dad, what is going on? Why did they murder this great leader? And that was like a political awakening for me. And my bat mitzvah had to be postponed because it was too dangerous and nobody wanted to leave. And the rabbi said, God will protect. And my father said, no, we're going to wait like a month because the whole city was burning. But I think that social justice call came from the life experience of being a child of immigrants and also being raised in an environment where you didn't let up, whether I was demonstrating against the Vietnam War in middle school or I was fighting for women's rights. I told my mother that we have to protect abortion rights. And she said, really? And my mother does this whole recording of me giving her a lecture about that. So I think my whole life, when I saw injustice, I thought as a human being, I couldn't walk by. But as a woman running an organization, I was mostly in a room with men in the last 30 years and mostly Caucasian men and mostly bigger organizations than Parents Anonymous. We're so tiny compared to some of these big monstrosities. And but I always believed in what the parents were telling me. I knew the program worked. The minute I walked in, I said, we need a new study. This is ridiculous. We don't really have any data. We built the database and we had the first study in 2007. And people were saying, you're the only person that comes to Congress and asks us for money to evaluate you. So, well, why not? We should not be delivering things that don't work to people who happen to be of color, poor, disenfranchised, and isolated because that seems convenient. I feel that's as a social worker, I think that's totally unethical. And I didn't become a social worker to tell people what to do. I became a social worker to help people. So I can't always help them in the way they want. I can offer them resources and emotional support, which is so valuable. So yes, there are many times where I thought, hey, if we don't get funding, are we going to shut down? Hey, is anybody listening to us? Literally, the federal government would invite me to speak at these national conferences. And I said, I'm not coming without a parent. They were like horrified. Well, why would a parent sit next to you? And now they wouldn't dare say that. So I think the conversation has changed in some ways where parents with lived expertise are honored. But I think just like the racism equity issue, you got to watch what's going on because some of it is, if we just had a policy, if we just did a program, it's like the numbers in child welfare tell the story, how we're not preventing anything, and we're only traumatizing the most marginalized humans, I mean, parents, children, youth in our community. And I think that we have to keep saying that. So, you know, in the giving you get is the therapeutic model of Parents Anonymous. And I gave a lot and got a lot from reaching out. Every day when I woke up and say, am I adding any value anymore? It was thinking about the parents and seeing the incredible change they went through. I mean, when people who I knew for many years and what they struggle with, that just spurred me on. The institutions don't frighten me. Institutions are very hard to change. You can change policies and sometimes you can change people. And there is a generation of people having conversations. What did it take? Watching a white police officer murder a black man on TV to let everybody have permission to say the word racism. And I'm like, gee, I could not watch that. I mean, I was crying after like 1 minute. I had to turn it off. But at least unfortunately, out of tragedy, people started talking about things. And that means every system. It's not just the police, it's the courts, it's the schools, it's healthcare, it's mental health. You go to the emergency room as a parent today and you say you have a problem and they want to take your kids away. Your kid has a problem, a mental health problem, people want to find a simple solution. Domestic violence, it must be the person who is victimized fault. Really? Why is that? Why aren't we holding people responsible who have a problem? Maybe they don't want to address the problem. Maybe they need to be arrested and prosecuted. I'm not against that, but I think that we have this turned upside down and we're just traumatizing generations of parents, children, and youth in the child welfare system, which people today call the family policing system. I agree with, and it's not child welfare if you haven't helped anybody. It's not. And there's nothing about child welfare that can happen without parents. You know, you're separating like the apple from the tree all the time. And I think that just burns me on. But yes, there have been many disparaging days and I would go to work and look at the staff or a parent would call me and I would just fuel me more to keep going. I have seen some change. I will say the conversation has shifted, but the numbers don't prove it yet. And I'm a researcher at heart. So when I say Parents Anonymous is evidence-based and what that propensity study said and all the hoops we had to get through in the federal clearinghouse, there are very few programs that made it in there that work with parents, children, and youth, that work on all these three levels that, you know, across every area that people are concerned about. We need to fund Parents Anonymous more because of that, not skip over and say, well, that's okay, we're going to keep funding unevidence-based programs. That's ridiculous. When you go to the doctor and they give you the Z-Pak for your ear infection, they're going to tell you 99% chance if you take the drug, you're going to get rid of your ear infection. You say, good. And when they want to experiment on me and said, well, I don't know what it is, you have a choice. You want that experimentation or not? That's not how we treat people who we consider problems. We serve them up what we serve them up. And then we walk away and we don't even talk about how we're traumatizing them.
Dr. Lisa, I want to say, I don't have a question for Dr. Lisa. I want to just raise my hand, my voice all over the city and thank Dr. Lisa for coming here. Coming here, you know, going down to the city council and advocating for whatever we need here. Dr. Lisa is here, was coming down here. And she didn't have to do that, but this is in her blood. And she treat everybody the same. No race, no different. But Dr. Lisa, somebody told me to tell you hi. And I, first initial I, last name is Smith. She told me to tell you hello. And if it wasn't for you, she would have never came out of her shell.
Wonderful.
And I want to thank you so much because we are still advocating, moving along and doing what we can. And through the pandemic, we had to set up a tent and tables outside with face covers on, and make sure our parents had tablets for their children for school. It was a whole lot different for our parents because these things they didn't have. And we want to thank you because I didn't do it. The parents requested that they needed this support. And we got it. We got it. And we made it happen. We had face covers, we had tablets, we had food, we did a food drive all through the pandemic here in DC. Dr. Lisa, and I want to say from me to you, Dr. Lisa, it's been many a days when Dr. Lisa was here in the city and she just, she's just a gift that keeps on giving. That's all I can say.
Thank you,
Because
Juanita.
it's no ending. It's no ending with Parent Anonymous. There's no ending. We're going to continue to march and continue to do what we have to do to keep our families safe and happy.
Thank you, Juanita. Juanita's from DC, which is my hometown also. But thank you so much, Juanita. So about 10 years ago, I became a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And in that training, I was introduced to meditation. And I started looking at the research about meditation and said, I love this. It's free. It's easy to teach. It doesn't take time. I mean, it doesn't take time. It takes very little time. Why don't we start opening every Parents Anonymous group with meditation? And as we did that, the purpose was to give parents tools, practical tools that we can all use. Now, remember, 10 years ago, you weren't turning on the TV watching people meditate. There was no Headspace. This was, people used to say to me, oh, that's California woo-woo. And they would say that to me. And I'd say, really? Here's the science. And the science is clear that after 11 hours of cumulative meditation, you build gray matter in your brain. No drugs, no anything else. And the whole time you're doing meditation, you're relaxing, you're centering yourself, you're reducing anxiety, you're reducing worry, you're calming yourself, you're grounding yourself. But after 11 hours, you have more gray matter, which is executive function and clearly reduced depression. There's nothing else proven to do that. And in the last 10 years, there's been a lot more familiarity with that. So we started, I recorded all the meditations based on the monthly themes, but then we said, what about the kids? We're not going to leave out the kids. And parents were saying, you know, I want to play these meditations on the way to school, but it's really directed to a parent. I said, well, let's start doing kid meditations. And Ricky and Jimmy and Karina on the screen there called me up one day and said, Dr. Lisa, we're older now. You got to step it up. It's like 3 minutes is not enough. So we have a 3-minute video for very young children. And then as those kids became school age, they said, we need 10 or 15 minutes. And they practice exactly. So they listen to the meditations on the way to school. They listen to them because the parents get them, and they can listen to those meditations. And I want to thank Ricky, Jimmy, and Karina have also done trainings of facilitators who came to our national meetings, our national certifications, and they taught them how to meditate. They are very well-skilled meditators. And these are skills that are so effective, free, that we all should be doing every day and have this cumulative benefit on our well-being like nothing else. Equal to smiling and hugging, but probably in a more in-depth way, because nobody's studied the shape of your brain changing because we smile and hug. We know smiling and hugging releases, oxytocin in the brain, and that's very good for us. So we do that also in every meditation. People are like, yeah, okay, we got to laugh out loud. And when I would go to live groups, people would say, oh my God, is she really going to do that? And the minute I walk in, it was very funny. Oh, we know who you are, because I would never say who I was. We know who you are because we heard your voice. And I'm like, oh boy. So I have a very distinct low voice. So thank you, everybody. I feel very blessed to be here with you all, even on the screen, and to share this moment as well as National Parent Leadership Month. My heart is very full right now, and I send love and support back out to you since you've given me so much.